block of Pine Grove. And being in this community, I'm just absolutely appalled at how we are racial profiling, how we are I've seen youth of color, or just youth in general, be discriminated against, but I've also seen white gay men who have been victims of domestic violence call the police and live on Broadway in Addison, and the police did not show up. I've seen other domestic violence situations where police did not show up. So I don't necessarily think that having greater police presence will be part of the solution. We need to work together as a community and get out there and do our own community walks, our own peace walks. Instead of having crime walks, we need to work together to do peace walks, to go out there and provide resources to individuals out there. Another thing that I've also seen is the exploitation of youth. There are a lot of I've seen trans women out there getting picked up by individuals in here and being picking them up and trying to pay them a little bit, but then saying they're a problem and they're bringing
Well, the first thing that I would like to say is that the idea that race is not a part of this is ridiculous, because obviously it's not just about being queer, because Boystown consists of queer, white man, middle class man. So this is a race issue. You have to look at the fact. You have to look at the fact that people complain about, the youth of color loitering and, they're taking up space and stuff like that. When you look at where the resources are, they're not on the south and west side. One, the resources that are on the north side, most of them are not friendly and are not empowering for queer youth of color. That is the reality. And when you talk about, and here's another problem, it's wonderful that we all have opinions, but when your opinions don't match the facts, they are invalid. Thank you. Some of you need to have a seat and say that. I want to say that. When you talk about the rate of violence, Boystown has one of the lowest rates of violence, actually. Even because the violence is going on in the south and west side. He's blowing it up. He's blowing it up because we see these youth of color that have committed this act of violence, and all of a sudden, the issue is all the youth of color. It's not an individual issue. But I have experienced violence from a white man before, and their response was, we're sorry, it was after a Cubs game, he was rowdy, he called me the N-word. We'll handle that individual incident. Individual. But when these people of color, all of a sudden, it's a holistic issue. It's all of us that are the issue. And that has got to stop.
Keep going, Joshua, keep going!
Paying for the extra police, as well as cooperating with Gender Just and our excellent youth programs that are here in the neighborhood. There's only a couple things that I could say differently. There's been some excellent comments here. If we could just keep things in perspective and be very thankful for the great neighborhood that we do have, and that we need to show respect for the businesses, for the neighbors, for the visitors, for all the people that come to our neighborhood. If you don't feel welcome here, we apologize for not welcoming you when you can feel welcome in the neighborhood, because truly and genuinely, you are welcome. And I know from 2 or 3 nights of every week that I go to these meetings, and usually it's a CAPS meeting like this when there's 5 or 7 people at the meeting and there's maybe 10 police officers in the meeting. If you look around and realize the excellent resources that we have available in this crowd here tonight, to welcome others to our neighborhood, to help recognize the great things that we have going in this neighborhood, and to be as open-minded as we can, and to recognize that when crime happens on the street, that's not a defensible action because of a racial issue, or because of a youth issue, or because of a poverty issue. Crime is crime, and we all need to work together to eliminate the crime. One other comment that I've taken all my time already. One other comment is community policing. Community policing means your involvement, and it means your involvement, it means your involvement. And it's on a 365 days a year program. We have to make these things happen so that we're doing our full job, because we can do better, and we can be a much better neighborhood. Thank you.
My name is Corey Howard. I'm the block club president of the 6100 block of South St. Lawrence. And what I do want to say is that I commend your applause, I commend your effort. Protect your community. You do not want to see what we're facing on that south side. I don't think it's a race issue, it's a behavioral problem. I want to say thank you to that guy that just walked off the stage. Alderman Tommy, I think you're doing an amazing job for our ward. I think you were taken out of context, and I want to first say I'm apologizing to you, because I was one of the people on Facebook who personally said, wow, I can't believe he said this was just an isolated incident. I know you understand that this is not an isolated incident, but these are occurrences that are happening over and over and over again. Thank you to the police department and the media for being here today, even though you're getting paid. More importantly, I love to see the diversity that's in this room today, and I just have a really quick statement that I want to make. The problem is crime and violence. The goal is public safety for everyone. A solution is community and unity. A solution is law and order. A solution is education and jobs. A solution is curfew enforcement. A solution is volunteering and neighborhood watching, and walking about to engage positively with others. A solution is mentoring youth and young adults by elders of the community. A solution is reporting crime by calling 911. A solution is becoming aware of your surroundings and staying alert at all times. A solution is respecting and dignifying yourself and others. A solution is affirming life and celebrating all cultures with positivity. A solution is community activism and neighborhood involvement. A solution is understanding the perspectives of everyone. A solution is working together and staying and studying the issues. We can make the city of Chicago a great place to live, visit, work, and play for all people. Safety brings peace to all, and peace brings prosperity to all. Bless you all.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Jeremy Arbani, and I'm native Chicagoan. Two of my friends in the past year have been mugged and robbed in the Boystown neighborhood. This issue hits close at home for me because I am someone, while I don't live in Boystown, I do come to Boystown, and I remember Boystown as always being a place that everyone's welcome and where we can go out and not have to worry about our own safety. And really this disheartens me, and it disheartens me when I see people pointing the finger at each other and calling each other names. let me be clear. Boystown is a place for everybody, no matter what age you are. I remember coming here before I was 21, hanging out, going out to Nookies, hanging out with my friends. We didn't go to bars, but we also didn't cause trouble. Of course we want them here. That's what makes our community vibrant. We're not a community of just bars and all that stuff that adults do. But don't you want those youth people? Don't you want those youth guys back there? Don't you want those youth that you're speaking about, that you're saying that we're putting down? Don't you want them to be safe on the streets? I do. So what I'm saying is stop playing things on each other. The bottom line is this: we want a safe community for everybody. Thank you.
You know, if you really want to turn off the microphone, you've got to go home rather than everybody speak. And I'm sorry, but I'm going to say something. She wants to go home. This is our commander. She has that little regard for this. You know, I feel like this is 2008. I don't know if you lived here in 2008, but there was a lady who was attacked on the Wilson stop. There was no community meeting. Nothing happened. There was a white gay male who was attacked on the corner of Addison and Halsted. There was a community meeting which was mostly white men, a few politicians, and the church was even half full. And there are people who come up to this microphone and they're making assumptions. They're making assumptions that's about the youth. They're making assumptions that's about people of color. And it's not. The problem begins at home. No child should ever be thrown out of his or her home or unloved by their parents or their siblings because they're gay, lesbian, bisexual, or transgender. And a lot of people like, hey, look, this is what's all right. We all have to work together to come up with a solution. The children and the young adults who have not been educated because they couldn't enroll in public school, because they don't have an address, they need an education. I am challenging the city of Chicago to build a school for our gay and lesbian youth. I am challenging the Chicago Police Department to start training the youth with more respect. I'm challenging and it's to show more respect to each other. When you're walking down the street, just show respect to other people. And I'm also challenging the Center on Halsted. It was my understanding that the Center on Halsted was built to help serve every member of this community. And that includes the youth. And that includes the seniors. So Freedom Valley, wherever you are, I am challenging you tonight to make that Center on Halsted what it is supposed to be.
Going home after this. But some of them, can we keep it together? I know people want to hear it. I think everybody wants to get the solution right. So I'll be the solution one.
If you saw that video, you saw that those assailants were not looking around concerned that anybody would give them a problem. The reason the police take a long time to come is because we have very few police less than, I think, 1,000 per shift, if you count it that way. The beat cops want to be here. I want to offer a suggestion endorsed by the Chicago Police Department Sergeants Association, the Chicago Police Department Lieutenants Association, the Illinois Association of Chiefs of Police, and the Illinois Sheriff's Department, and that is concealed carry. And it's not... My husband and I moved here from the Gold Coast because we wanted to be with you guys. We wanted to live in this neighborhood. That was the goal. We wanted a neighborhood. And we really thought long and hard about it. We looked around and we thought, wow, Lakeview, this is so cool. Look at the diversity here. This is wonderful. Look at all that it offers. Our only agenda, and Alderman Tunney and the police department, I thank you with all my heart for your hard work. But we don't want topic here. The topic should have been, and if we can hold this in a different meeting some other time and place, or in many meetings once a week, that's great about the diversity and the problems with the races, and so on and so forth. That's fine with me. I'm okay with that. The problem is we had 2 stabbings in our neighborhood.
I'm a homeowner down in Grayson, Halstead, and I kind of want to just reiterate I think what was just said. My understanding tonight was the focus of this meeting was going to be on safety on Halstead. And I, as a homeowner, I've been here since 1987, I seriously don't think it's a race issue. I think it's the first area of Chicago you can find in this neighborhood. As a donor to the center, as a donor to a lot of the causes and volunteers, this neighborhood, we put a lot of money back into all the houses. The simple problem is, I don't think as a resident, I'm sure here, that when I leave a bar at midnight or 1, I should be told by a bar owner, don't walk home. You're not safe. Take a taxi, those 4 blocks. I've had friends who have been assaulted. Let's go. It's a safety issue. As a homeowner, we should have the right of any other suburb or area in the city that we should be able to walk down our streets safely. And it's not and I like to talk facts, and the fact is the streets aren't safe. The assaults are up. I will say I was a little disappointed in the news tonight when I heard you say that you thought the crime was under control in this area. As a homeowner, I was watching the speech on the news tonight, and that the crime is under control in this area. It was on the NBC News at 5:30. Go back down. But I'm just saying, I hope we just focus on the crime, that we can be safe, and we just talk about the facts. It'd be nice to be able to walk down the street and not have to worry about being assaulted. That's just focus.
Community activist in the queer community for about 10 years now. And I just want to talk a little about the fact that a lot of these conversations are making the assumption that the police are effective at creating safer communities, or that the law treats everyone justly. Which is always not the case, right? The last thing we need in our community are vigilantes who take it upon themselves to correct the problem that you have in our neighborhood. Absolutely not. What and what these people that most of you would probably call criminals actually need are meaningful structural interventions that start to address structural violence and discrimination. We cannot meaningfully end crime until we end inequality and access to things like healthcare, education, employment. And I'm here to this, I really am trying to agree. This is a meeting about anti-violence and anti-crime. I'd like to make a shout out to the gentleman who slapped me to make me drop my camera real quick. So if we're going to really be talking anti-violence, let's live it. Let's live it.
My name is Dr. Stephen Mikulski. I am a licensed clinical psychologist. I specialize in working with gay and lesbian youth. There are a lot of issues in the room tonight. The ones that I keep hearing about our violence. I'm hearing a lot about homelessness and racial and ethnic inequities and disparities. Folks, these are problems